Yeah, we bring reviews of your house, talk to our dudes of your house. I bring my views of your house, wrestling truths of your house. We talk to you in your house, we keeps it cool with your house, we keeps it cool with your house. I'm spitting truths in your house. Yeah. Mark's hating on his fans, Becky Nish on the man. Play with tune like a lion, household a dangerous alliance. I am a nightmare like Cody, and I'm overcoming like Kobe. No, they cannot hold me. Come listen, I'm hosting, critiquing, I'm boasting. This wrestling I'm knowing. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to In Your House, starring Alakan House and my co-host, Michael Hutchison and Dox. This is the People's Podcast. Hey guys, you already know who it is. It's your boys, Con, Hutch, and Dox, ready to get at work when it comes to this professional wrestling business. That is what we do, and hey, we love it. So let you guys know where you guys can listen to this at. You guys can listen to this at Apple Podcast, Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Himalaya. Hey, you don't have an Apple device? That's alright. We're on Google Play. Anywhere that you guys are, we can get to you. And ooh, I'm looking outside and it is dark. But last time that I checked, In Your House was the hottest professional wrestling podcast in the Midwest, because we bring you that work. Round the clock. You guys all ready know what it is. Hey, you guys know who I got in the building. My man Prince Paradox and Hutchy Hutch. Dox, how you doing, bro?
Oh, you know, I'm dead inside, but some things never change.
And Hutch, how you doing, bro?
Oh man, he stole my line. I was gonna say I'm dead inside, so now I don't know what to say now. Man, I'm doing great, bro. Like this week of wrestling has been nothing short of fantastic. Like, you know, we say it on here a lot, man. We say, oh, it's a fun time to be a wrestling fan, and it's a fun time to be a wrestling fan. But holy shit, we're here post AEW, and man, is it fun time to be a wrestling fan.
Oh, you're right, man. You are absolutely
right. My God,
right.
and not just that, just what's going on locally, you know, here in Indiana as well. We had a little thing in Fort Wayne we did.
Oh, just a little thing, bro.
Yeah, just a little thing, bro. There's some people there. We were there. You know, we did some things, met some people.
Yes,
you know.
Yes. And the thing that Hutch is talking about, guys, is it finally came and went. After months of promoting it on the show, I get to say it one more time. Here we go. Heroes and Legends XIII, Fort Wayne, Indiana. We were the official podcast of the entire event, and man, it was an amazing time. I've had a chance to replay that night over and over again in my head, and Hutch and Dox, every single time that I've replayed it over my head, it's been just incredible. Like, I can't believe we did that. Like, Dox, what are you thinking about it, bro?
I mean, it's been, you know, damn near a week at this point, and it's still just so surreal.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a thing that actually happened. It feels like a dream I had, and then I went to work and told people about it, and no one understood because no one else watches wrestling.
And Hutch, man, how's your week been? Kind of lingering on what we did Saturday night, bro.
Well, man, I as you said, like I played all the moments back in my mind that stood out. We're gonna get to all of that.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's amazing, like just as a fan.
Yeah.
How it felt just to be there, because it was the first time I've ever been to a wrestling convention kind of thing like that anyway.
Yeah, that was my first one too, bro.
And man, what a unique way to get introduced to that, being on the side that we were. And that's not even getting into later on in the night once the show kicked off.
Yeah.
Which again we will get to. but yeah, man, it was surreal, and the fact that we were able to accomplish what we did, which again we'll get into it here, the good, the bad, the disasters, everything that we fought with, the fates that tried to hold us back, but we looked fate in the face and said, fuck you, not today.
Not today, bro, not today.
We are here to live forever, and gentlemen, that's exactly what we did.
I agree, bro. I agree. I think we did exactly what we set out to do Saturday night in Fort Wayne. And every time I look back at it, I am so fucking proud of our team. I'm so proud of our brand. I'm just over the moon because, man, we were just like Buff Bagwell was right next to us, bro. On the other side was Congo Kong. This was crazy, bro.
Wait, you mean my best friend, Buff Bagwell?
Yes, your best friend. That's your best friend, bro.
When you guys abandoned me to go to Walmart, Buff Bagwell was there for me. He was there chilling with me. Motherfucker is the most hyped man I've ever met in my life. Reminds me of my friend Dan. Shout out to Dan, who was a regular at B-Dubs. But Buff Bagwell, dude, he and I bonded on a spiritual level. You guys will get to that level with me at some point, but me and Buff Bagwell went through some shit together.
Oh, wow. Man. Buff Bagwell. He's buff, he's the stuff, and the girls can't get enough. And you guys heard him earlier in the week on the podcast. He was a character, Hutch. What do you think?
Man, I just couldn't wrap it, because we're sitting there and I look over and you guys, the household, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all know who Buff is, right?
Of course,
he's had the top hat gimmick.
Yeah.
He had he had the top hat just chilling on our table, right? And it's here we are just sitting here chopping it up with Buff Bagwell. It was again the most surreal thing, and I got one man gang sitting across from me.
Yes, man, yes,
at the table. As we're sitting there, almost like a zoo exhibit, as people walk by and look at us. It was so weird, but just so awesome. I was there for it, man. It was just crazy. And again, there was a point where Buff Bagwell cut a promo and was talking shit about Congo Kong.
Yes, I thought we was going to have a match right there at our table.
Right, Buff was like, man, he ain't shit. What federations he been on? And then his boy or whatever was like, oh, he been on Impact. That don't mean shit.
You guys can listen to that interaction on the episode that we dropped on Monday. It was episode 1 of Heroes and Legends XIII. We dropped that on Monday, and that was a highly downloaded episode, along with every other episode this entire week. Dox, from an executive producer standpoint, when you hear all the downloads we got for all the great interviews that we had, how does that make you feel as an executive producer?
As an EP, whenever I see those downloads, whenever I'm seeing the feedback we get from those episodes, man, it makes me very upset that every pair of pants I own are black. Because those white stains show like a motherfucker. And Hutch, you brought up Buff Bagwell's top hat. I want to point out the fact that top hat is so iconic that motherfucker had a lockbox to put it in every time he went to go piss.
Shut up.
Are you kidding?
Nicolas Cage could not steal this top hat.
Oh man, it was a great time, and then not even counting the fact that man, we had the person who was representing Ken Anderson, Mr. Kennedy, for you guys that remember him. he asked us. He came up to us and was like, "Hey, Ken wants to promote his school. You think he could be on your podcast?" I'm like, "You're asking us if Mr. Kennedy can be?" It's Mr. Kennedy, man. Like, one of the most prolific and like awesome talkers, like charismatic talkers. Like,
right.
Yes.
We're gonna be like, absolutely not.
If the thought of no crosses our heads, just take us out back and put us the fuck down.
Seriously, man, for real, because that was so amazing and such a huge opportunity to talk to him, and I gotta say, he was an awesome chat. Hutch.
Oh, fantastic! Super easy to talk to,
yeah.
And it was one of those, because again, in my head, I'm thinking I wasn't ready for this, right?
Yeah.
And again, as you said, I mean, we all know. We know who he is. The household knows who he is. If you're a wrestling fan, you know who that man is. I mean, he's been in various different promotions. You know who he is, and all of a sudden, like, they're like, "Oh yeah, can he be on your show?" Well, absolutely, hell yes, he could be on our show, right?
Yes.
So then, like, here he comes. I'm like, "Oh shit, this is really happening." Right on. So, like, I got to sit here and like play it cool or whatever, and I feel like we handled ourselves well.
I think we did too.
Like we are. But again, it was just one of those. It's, I'm still a fan.
Yeah,
and this is all new to me, man. Like, like being here, because again, all this whole thing. I mean, if to sum it up in all seriousness, it was very humbling.
Yes, it was.
To be able to do and have the opportunities that we all got to have and do here, and so some we earned ourselves, and some, obviously given to us as well. And when what was given, we took that ball and we ran with it like we stole something from Kmart.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
so yeah, man, it was just God, it was just again so many moments, man. But again, sitting there with Ken, he was easy to talk to.
He was
like once we got going, and because again, we're all just people, man. And once he sat down and we went green, man, it was just like just talking, man. And you guys heard it, you guys downloaded it. So I feel like it was a smooth interview and all that. And I went back and listened to it myself, and it was not to try to brag on ourselves, but it was just like it was a entertaining interview.
It was.
And if he's listening, and if anybody from his camp is listening, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
For taking the time to come over, and I wish you nothing but success with your school and and everything that you do, man. If you ever happen to want to come back on, let us know, and we'll be glad to have you.
More than happy. So Dox, you're a fan of talkers, as am I, because we're both talkers, man. We're both talkers in a big way. But how was that for you to be able to sit in and listen to Mr. Kennedy? You know what I mean?
It was. It's a word I'm going to use a lot during this podcast, but like it was definitely surreal.
Yeah.
Whenever I got introduced in the podcast, I make a joke about Taco Bell, which I will hopefully get us sponsored by eventually. But no, like I was there. Like, one thing that was just super, I don't know, sentimental to me about that whole thing is Ken's manager comes over and is like, "Hey, can you be on the podcast?" But when he came over, he was like willing to like stand behind us and like lean into the microphone. And I was just like, "Dude, you can have my fucking seat, dude." Like, it's not that deep. But like the fact that he was not like the prima donna to be like, "I need your chair," as he would tell Hutch later in the night, but that was during the match. But
right,
like the fact that he was like willing to be like, "All right, you guys just do your thing. I'll stand behind you and lean into the mic." That says a lot about the character of someone who has had so much success. I have nothing but fucking respect for it. And just listening to him riff, like either whenever the mics were on or whether they were off, just like he's got so much charisma and he's so articulate that like I realized why when SVR07 came out, why I stole his entrance, and I would mute the TV and make my little brother listen to me being like,
That was good
like,
shit.
Get it.
Yes, man, yes. And that was so awesome because I just remember, watching Mr. Kennedy and thinking how just great he was. I mean, like, the stuff that he did with, like, Eddie Guerrero, you know what I mean? And like, that famous spot, Eddie's last match, the famous spot where he throws the chair and Anderson, or at the time Kennedy catches it and he's caught red-handed and, oh, man, like, and then the time when he was in Money in the Bank and he was Mr. Money in the Bank for a little bit, and Mr. Kennedy had a lot of good moments in the WWE, you guys, so that was very, very cool, and I'd love to have him on to talk a little bit deeper about that stuff, but we just really got into his school because that's what he wanted to talk about, and of course, we respect our guest here at In Your House. You want to talk about your school? We're not going to ask you a bunch of, crazy questions about your career. We're going to get to the point, and the facts are he wanted to talk his school, and we put him out there like that, so I think Mr. Kennedy was a great talk, and I got to say, personally, one of the favorite ones I listened to, just because I had a lot of questions actually about her career and stuff about her career, and that was Molly Holly, Hutch. Like, how are you thinking about when we got Molly Holly to come over and be on In Your House?
Such a pleasant surprise, man.
Yes. Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like, first off, she's super approachable.
Oh, yeah.
Like, somebody was, again, she's a legend, man. I mean, to say she's established is a very severe understatement.
She's
obviously.
A former WWF Women's Champion.
Exactly. But
wow. We had a women's champion on our show. What the? Wow. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Like,
that literally just hit me.
For real, man. Like, it's crazy to wrap my head around it, bro. Like I'm, again, as that seems to be the ongoing, we'll call it the secret word of the episode, surreal.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man. And then, again, how sweet is she? She come over, it was like we just wrapped up our interview with Ken, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, guys, I seen who you just had on here, and he's like super charismatic and funny, and I'm boring and this and that, and we're just like, come on,
absolutely no.
I want to be, with all due respect, I was like, girl, you better go sit down in that chair. Come on now,
Man, for real.
Come on, and again, the interview was great, and she was awesome, and again, go back to listen to the episode if you haven't, and most of you, I'm sure you have. Again, the interview was great. She was super easy to talk to, fun to talk to, and just she's a diamond.
Yes, and just to be able to ask her like the stuff with her and the Dudleys, you know what I mean? The Hollies and the Dudleys, and I had always like wanted to ask her about that. Like, I wanted to know more about that. Like, I just wanted to let her know that I thought it was cool. I thought it was good,
Yeah.
And then, of course, her inducting Ivory into the Hall of Fame. I mean, and she's probably going to be there one day herself. I mean, it's probably going to happen because because she is that good and has had that many moments in her career that I think that she should be a Hall of Famer at some point. Dox, what were you thinking? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you watched a whole lot of Molly Holly because you're younger than us. But how was it being able to sit in, and listen to us have that conversation with Molly Holly?
Okay, I'm not that young. I'm 22. I'm a tail end of the Attitude Era, full on ruthless aggression era kid. But no, I grew up with Molly Holly, and like I said, she's just so humble that it didn't feel like I was talking to a established wrestler with such a vast, list of credentials. Like Hutch said, she was kind of timid about the fact that she was following Ken Anderson on our podcast, and which is adorable, and she's such a sweetheart that
she sure was.
It was just such a delight to have her, and she was just such a real person. I've met a lot of wrestlers in my day, but I think that Molly Holly's probably the most real person that I've been able to sit down with, especially in a setting where, we're doing a podcast. So, this is where you think they'd be at least a little bit, in gimmick mode. But, nah, she's just 100% her all the time.
Yeah.
She's a sweetheart, and I think after the age of 28, she stopped aging. So, like,
Man, for real?
like,
What?
she's just
Facts.
absolute delight. And the fact, like, when we talked about the Evolution pay-per-view and how, like, she felt like because she wasn't in her heyday and she didn't feel like she deserved to be there, something about that didn't make me rewatch that match with a sense of, oh yeah, Molly Holly's not on her A game. It made me watch that again with the fact that Molly Holly's nervous. This absolute iconic woman is nervous about being in this match, and there was just something so humanizing about that.
Yeah.
That it just really spoke to me, because you can be in character 100% of the time, like people like MJF, or you can be a real person and just like you kind of alluded to, like, I caught the tail end of her career. I was a fan, like, I caught the Super Molly stuff.
Yeah.
But something about the fact of how real she was and how sweet she was has definitely moved her up the rankings on my favorite wrestlers of all time. Not like my favorite female wrestlers of all time, but my favorite wrestlers of all time, because she's just such a genuine person. Could not ask for anything better from Molly Holly.
I agree with that, man. I agree with that. She looked amazing, and she was an amazing individual, an amazing person. And man, just throughout that night, I mean, we saw so many. I mean, me and Hutch went up and Earl Hebner was right there, but he was all on his phone. We was trying to get Earl, but he was texting somebody. But we love you, Earl. We know you old man trying to use a cell phone. Like, of course it was going to take you 15 minutes. Like, we love you, Earl. We really, really do. But he was awesome.
He has to hit two. He has to hit 3 times before he gets to letter C. Give him a break.
Yes. Hey, that's the truth, bro. That is the truth. And I gotta say this, and then we'll get to who else we talk to. But this guy deserves a special shout out in my eyes, and I think Hutch will definitely agree when I say this guy's name. And that was senior official Max Recon. He was amazing throughout the entire night.
Yeah, that guy. Let's talk about Mr. Recon here for a second, man.
Sure.
Like this cat is cool as hell.
Yes, he is.
You know, like, I heard him on the show, and I'm just like, you know, like, I thought, I was like, you know, I always thought, like, he sounded like a cool dude then, and then, like, you know, getting to meet him. And I'm just like, instantly, we was just like starting to, you know, it's like I'd known the guy for like a while. I mean, because it was just like that, because he was just cool.
We hit it off quick. Yeah, we hit it off quick.
Very much so, man. And this is before I knew, like, you know, like, because I thought he was just, you know, I didn't know, like, what was going on. I didn't know if he was just there chilling, just there to, like, meet people, or what was going on. And then kind of find out later on, you know, he was, you know, doing his thing there. You know, and again, and he killed it. He did great.
Yeah, he did.
But yeah, man, just an awesome guy, and him along with everybody else was just super welcoming to us.
Yes.
You know, if we just talk about that for a second, like between him and Sean and just everybody, man, everybody was just super cool with us, and I loved it, and I love them for it.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, like there was a couple. There was one time. This one was just me and Hutch because Dox was at the table. But it was when we was going to change, and then we walked into the locker room, and they were having a locker room meeting. We was like, nope.
Yep, we noped our way right out of that. It was like that scene where oh god, who was it? Bruce Pritchard walked in on that one episode of Impact.
Oh yeah,
he walked in the background, just like, oh, nobody's supposed to be here. Nope, and then I'm out. And that's exactly what the hell we did.
Oh man,
because, you know, we're not trying to do that.
Yeah, we're not trying to be disrespectful. You know what I mean?
Hell no, because that was there for the talent. That was there, and then, you know, we were kind of told, you know, some things, and that was really awesome. But not trying to brag about us, but like that. But yeah, we were. That was so funny, and it was so awkward.
It was, because everybody was looking over. When we finally walked back in, everybody was looking over. I was like, damn, stop looking at it. It's like,
like you know that feel when you like walk into class and you're late.
Yes.
And the door's shut, and you open the door, and you literally hear that sound of everybody's head going. and everybody's eyes are on you. That's exactly what happened. And we were just like, nope. We're not supposed to be in here. Nope.
But bro, everybody was so cool. Like everybody was so cool. When we did walk in, everybody was like, "Yeah, over here, come on!" It was just super welcoming and super cool. And then one more shout out to Ken Anderson for when we were going in the locker room. He was just like, we was like, "Man, can we dress in here?" He was like, "Yeah, come on in." I was like, "This dude is just like he was just like chill. Like it was so awesome."
And I'm gonna go ahead and give you all a little bit more behind the scenes here, because because we had to change, right? Because we had to get ready for a commentary spot. So we were like, this is when we walked in the door, we had to find a place to change. We were like, where the hell are we gonna do it? So we were like, well, we go to the locker room, and Con goes, all right, Michael, you can go ahead and go in there first. I'll hang out here. So this fool just wanted me to walk in the locker room by myself. Fucking Judas. Let's talk about that for a second.
I'm like, bro,
so I'm
go.
all like, so I'm all
Hold
like,
on, Hutch.
Yo.
Fucking whenever Max Recon was telling me and Con how to get to Coletta's office, right? Fucking he's like, go this way, go through this side door. Fucking me and Con get to the door. They're like, is this where we're supposed to go? I'm like, well, if it's not, then he wouldn't have told us to come this way, right?
Yeah.
And he just waits there, like I'm about to fucking open the door. Like, you're a different story, yo. You get credit for this shit. People don't know who the fuck I am. I'm an executive producer, yo. Like, so it's like, all right, fuck it. I'm going to push the door and hope you go in before me. So I fucking kick the fuck out.
Yeah, so Con, we got to talk about that, bruh. So
and they're doing a fucking photo session, like, in the door we're opening. And the only luck I would have had if, like, they didn't recognize me would have been the fact that the photographer's like, you've got my jacket. Where'd you get that jacket?
Oh, yeah, he's on that jacket.
It's like, I have a jacket guy. Like, what the fuck do you mean?
Oh, man. It was just so, like you guys have been saying, it was surreal. And then Dox, when we went back there to try to get information from Sean Coletta, like, we was maneuvering around the locker room. Yeah, I think you said it. I think you was like, it was kind of like SmackDown versus Raw 2007, walking around the locker room. Like, it was crazy, bro.
Yeah, it was like straight up. It, like, the way the office was set up when we got in there, like, it was straight out of a video game. I think 07 was the one I used as an example, but, like,
yeah.
It like that just adds to like I've got mental issues as it is, so like I still part of me doesn't think that was real. It's like I'm using this information I got from a game and it's just put it in my brain as a memory. It might not have happened, but it might have happened. I don't fucking know.
So crazy. Like the office, like the management was there, like, ribbing us as we were walking in, because Recon was like, hey, is it cool if they come in? And they was ribbing us as we were walking in, like, you're fired. I'm like, dang, we just got here. They were so awesome. Like, they were amazing. Everybody was great that entire night. Like, I love this shit. Like, that was so awesome. And then we got a chance to talk once again to one of the hottest young talents in the wrestling business today, and that's the youngest ever OVW television champion and number 500 in the PWI magazines. That's Category 5 Corey Storm.
Yeah. That I was really happy to, like, finally get to meet that kid, man, because like I've been singing his praises and, pushing him on Facebook and all that stuff because, again, this dude has something. This kid has something. And it was awesome to meet him. He was great on our show. And, I wish him all the best in what he, in his future, whatever it is he does. I believe he's debuting on Impact.
Yeah, I think on the 19th he's debuting on Impact.
And absolutely he's going to kill it there. I hope they're ready. And again, if he's listening, thank you very much for being on our show, and good luck out there. We'd love to have you back if you ever want to be back on, man.
Absolutely. And we also had We also had another young talent by the name of Miles Morales, and then we had the right hand of God, Sam Knight, and he's going to be awesome. He's actually going to be at DCCW on the 26th.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, like I'm stoked about that. I love me some Sam Knight, dude.
Yes, he's
I
awesome.
love me some Sam Knight.
So, yeah, it was incredible to be able to talk to those guys and meet them in person finally. You know what I mean?
For sure. And again, all great guys. All awesome guys.
Absolutely. And before we move on to the actual card that we're going to talk about, Dox, what were you thinking about when we were able to talk to some young talent? Like, we had talked to some names like past and you know, some present, like Kennedy's still wrestling currently and stuff like that. Molly's not. But when we got a chance to talk to the future of the business, what were you thinking being the young cat? You're the new era of professional wrestling as far as talkers and being an executive producer. You're 22 years old, one of the youngest ones in professional wrestling. So to be able to talk to your generation about this business that we all love so much, how was that for you, bro?
You know, as in the roughly, 4 to 6 months I've been doing this, meeting Corey Storm the first time, because I talked to him for a bit while you guys went to go get a new cord for our mics.
Yeah.
I felt so fucking old, and I'm only 4 years older than this kid, or 3 years older than this kid.
Right,
and,
right.
I became best friends with Buff Bagwell, but meeting Corey Storm was the hardest point of the night for me to not mark out, just because, my experience with his career started with, editing the first episode of Highlighted Wrestlers Weekly on the In Your House talk show.
Yeah.
And,
all right.
So I sifted through, footage after footage of this kid, and I became a fan, instantly. I've not been able to watch actual episodes of, OVW or, these promotions he's worked at, but just putting together his highlights and shit, he came up to the booth and was just like, hey, where are the guys at? I'm like, they'll be back in 20 minutes, but it's really great to meet you. I put together your compilation for the first episode of the In Your House talk show. Well, this was just like, oh yeah, I know. And God, the kid's got so much potential, so much charisma, and he's you've said it before, he is the future. He's done so much in such a short time.
Oh, yeah.
I was ecstatic. And as far as, Miles Morales goes, the kid is just so genuine. He's so nice. And he took a nasty bump in that fucking Battle Royal. Not to give any spoilers, but he took a nasty-ass bump.
Oh, my gosh.
And came out like a trooper, dude. This is my first experience with him, either through footage or through being there live. So it was the first time I met the kid, and he's hard as fuck. He could, I could definitely see him being, a top high flyer in the next, 3 to 5 years.
Oh yeah.
Just like with Corey Storm, still very young, still got a lot of work to do, but for their age, where they're at, both Miles Morales and Corey Storm are at their apex, and they could go from being one of the early podcast guests that we have to being hey, remember before you were $1 million wrestler and you were on our podcast?
Yeah.
Both guys. The only issue I have with Miles Morales, I personally, it's not a slight on him at all, I personally hate when people use comic book names as their ring name or movie names. I've seen it a billion times, and he is so unique as a performer that he doesn't need that. He could use it as a nickname of I am the new Miles Morales, and then use an actual name.
Yeah.
But aside from that, the kid is so fucking talented that I don't want to discredit him for that little pet peeve. I am not shitting on him at all. He is so good and so young that both of these kids are going to be the future in 5 years. For real.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that, bro. Corey Storm, I'm going to follow that kid wherever he goes. Like, if he ends up signing full-time with Impact for whatever reason, then I'm going to start watching Impact. I already want to check out OVW just to see what he's doing. I checked it out a little bit Tuesday night, and man, we're going to get more to the week of wrestling. We're going to get into that, because right now, Hutch, we got to talk about the actual card, and man, for me personally, my favorite pay-per-view and one of my favorite matches, this is my favorite pay-per-view and one of my favorite matches, to be clear, is the Royal Rumble match. I love the Royal Rumble. I love Battle Royals. So, Hutch, this was our opportunity to call a Battle Royal, which was so fucking cool. What were you thinking from your perspective?
Well, again, I'm a fan of the Battle Royal Rumble, whatever it is you want to call it, as well. But from a commentating perspective,
yeah,
I'll be honest, I was a bit intimidated, because calling a singles match, and none of it's easy. Let me just preface it with that.
Yeah,
it's not as easy. You guys sitting at home and think, okay, yeah, I can sit in a booth and call a match.
I want to see you do it.
With all due respect, man, and I'm not sitting here saying that, I killed it out there. I'm the next, whatever. No. I feel like I did the best I could. And I had no regrets on the performance that I gave. And, stay tuned to Fight TV when it drops, and then you guys can hear it and give us your opinions.
Sure.
On how we did. But yeah, I was actually intimidated to call this Battle Royal, but I was looking forward to it as well, because of some of the aforementioned names that we just spoke that was going to be in it. You know what I mean? And it was a blast. Once we got going, and are we going to talk about the problems that we had? Are we just going to gloss over that? Or are we going to bounce back to that later?
Oh, you mean when I couldn't get sound?
Yeah, do you want to talk about that for a second before we get into the commentating?
Yeah. Let's talk about that.
Or the 5 different cameras.
Yeah, or the cameras. Yeah, so all of a sudden we got Jeff coming over to us. Jeff Landis coming over to us, right?
Shout out to Jeff Landis.
Shout out to Jeff. Who's going to do our camera, right? So we got the hard camera set up, and we're going to give you a little bit of behind the scenes here. So we got the hard camera set up and all that, and then we're working on the mobile camera, right? We got 2 brand new memory cards. We are properly equipped.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Properly equipped. We put one of said memory cards. Jeff puts one of said memory cards into the camera. The camera says the memory card is full. Full of what, you ask? Bullshit, if you ask me, because there wasn't a damn thing on those memory cards.
Brand new memory cards. Brand new.
Table.
Yes, we opened them right there at the table out of the pack.
In the box.
So right now we're in a panic going, we got no mobile camera, right?
Yeah.
So we call an audible. We use my phone.
No, we used the tablet first.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yes, I forgot, because that didn't end up working as well. We ended up using the tablet. And then I'm not sure why that didn't work, but it didn't work.
It ran out of memory after 18 minutes and 34 seconds.
Wow, is it ironic that I didn't remember that it ran out of memory? Anyway. Anywho. So there we go. So we have that fire that we're trying to put out. So that's when we end up using my phone to record record the mobile stuff.
Sure.
So then we're trying to go.
Sucks.
What's that?
Your phone sucks.
My phone. How does my phone suck?
Because it made me look like a chump in front of Bill Alfonso.
That's not my fault. You were up there snapping pictures of Bill Alfonso. He's like, "Why'd you turn it off, Daddy? Why'd you turn it off?"
He was awesome.
No,
both times he was out there, he was awesome.
Bill Alfonso tells me to get into the ring, which I'm not prepared for, and my ass decides to try to go under the bottom rope instead of the middle like I usually do, and fucking trip, drop your phone, and it leaves camera mode. So I pull up camera mode, and Bill Alfonso's like, "Why the fuck did you stop, Daddy?" And I'm just like, "I didn't fucking stop. The phone broke. Don't hate me. I love you." And I finally try to get it back to camera, and I take a picture of him. And he talks for 10, 15 seconds. I'm like, "We weren't recording." And then fucking, I'm like, "Give me a second." And I'm like, all right, we're good now. Don't hate me. And then he cuts his promo, and I'm like, cool. Bill Alfonso hates me. And I'm just glad that later, when he was managing someone else throughout the night, he still came up to me to do his close-up spots, because I was like, I have lost all credibility with this fucking legend. And it was a hard time. I've never tripped getting into the ring before. I've never fucked up in front of a legend before. And I blame your phone for 100% of it.
Don't blame, I love it. Don't blame me, bro. Blame Apple.
I still blame Apple. Steve
Well,
Jobs
this
is dead.
Before this starts, and the show is airing, guys are about to come out. I can't get sound on the mics. I'm like, yo, what is happening, man?
Oh, man. And all we did was move. We recorded, again, the episodes that you guys listened to this week. We literally recorded those with the same equipment, just at a different table. We grabbed said equipment and moved to the commentary table. It was the same kind of table, even made out of the same kind of material. Nothing was different, solely other than the location. That's it. And then all of a sudden the mics were like, fuck it, we're not going to work right now.
Right. But
so
luckily we got it in enough time.
Yes, we did, man. Like, you're sitting there clicking on stuff, and I'm like, oh, man, please stop clicking on stuff so we could talk. And then you finally ended up getting it, and then it was off to the races.
Off to the races, bro. Because I really feel like in my heart of hearts, honestly, and I know we just talking about all the little snafus and stuff like that, but in my heart of hearts, I felt like we gave a fantastic performance.
I really do too. From us doing our thing, from going through all the matches. I had worms thrown at me from the boogeyman.
Yes, that was awesome.
The thing that happened. But yeah,
those worms were delicious. Don't lie.
Yeah, well, they had a hint of strawberry. It was very classy. It was a very classy affair. But yeah, from us, being prepared, and big ups to, everybody, Sean and Jason and everybody at Heroes and Legends. They had us prepared and ready to go.
Yes.
To the best of their abilities. So, they were very gracious hosts and did just awesome in making sure that we were good to, the best that they possibly could, and then, when us putting out the fires that we did, I'm proud as hell of us, man. For us to do what we did out there.
Yeah. I want to put it out into the ether that if we ever do a wrestling show where everything goes smoothly, Con, we need you to publish those episodes before we leave the building, because we're dying in a car crash on the way home. If anything goes smoothly, that's going to be how our luck goes.
I know, right? Because it seems like every single wrestling show that we've recorded or done commentary or anything at, there's always been something crazy going on, but every single time, fellas, every single time we pull it together and everything always turns out.
We're go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna give credit to Con, man. Like for you to keep it together the way that you did in the mic situation. That was nothing short of fantastic, because at that point, but I could tell you were panicked, but you kept it focused.
Yeah, had to stay focused, bro.
Yeah, and all I had was a whole bunch of expletives running through my head, a whole bunch of shit. Oh man, what are we doing? But anyway, Dox, go ahead. You had something to say as well.
Just so you guys know, I've been talking to the Food Network, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get a special on how to turn chicken shit into chicken salad. We're going to get Rachel Ray and Bobby Flay on there, and we're going to show them what's up.
I am with it. I'm with it. Because that's exactly what the hell we did, gentlemen.
And we've done it every time. We've done it every time. I can't say enough how proud I am of Team In Your House. We really pulled it together, and I think that the show is going to be great because Dox is the man that's going to be behind it. And I've seen his work and I see what he does. Man, I'm not worried about that aspect. I was worried about what I could control. And what I could control,
yes.
I took care of business. Hutch, you took care of business on your end. And I feel like Dox is the same way. Now that he's got the tools, he's going to put the magic together. And It's going to be awesome. And before we really break down this card, and we're not going to go through every single match because we still have other things that we got to talk about. We just want to talk about the experience, man. And the fact is, like I want to start with Hutch here. How is it feeling, man, knowing that your voice is going to be on Fight TV, bro?
Humbling, and I don't want to say, I don't know if scared, like I'm scared is the right word. Like, I don't know. I guess it's just like, I do my best to not be concerned with what other people think.
Yeah.
But I guess I'm more so, I hope I represented the brand well. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense, yeah.
I hope what I gave is enough. That sounds, my God, that sounds like a very cliche line, but it's true. Like I really hope what I gave and what I did is enough, and is good enough, and I represent it because again, we're the voice. We sung the lyrics to their songs, so to speak, and I just hope that it's good enough. That's kind of it, man. But I'm excited too, and we were immortalized, man, because we said, to borrow a line from Cody, we said before all this started, let's live forever.
Yep.
And we fought, and technology and fate, whatever it is you want to call it, tried to hold us back, but we fought, we persevered, and gentlemen, again, we did it. Heroes and Legends XIII, we did it. We lived forever, and it was awesome, and I can't wait for it to be on Fight TV. And I know you mentioned something about doing like a gathering for a watch party, right?
Yeah, a private viewing party for just our inner circle. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm excited for it because I was going to watch it regardless.
Yeah, me too.
Because I want to contribute, because again, it's worth it, because just to see the matches that I witnessed live on Fight TV, because again, the finished product, again,
sure.
We already know it's gonna be awesome, but yeah, I was there for it live, and it was an awesome show. And once it comes out, guys, household, get on Fight TV, check it out. And I'm not saying just to hear us on commentary, no, not even saying about us, to see the talent that we called the matches for.
Yes,
that's what you guys need to watch it for.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. So let me move it over to Dox as an EP, one of the youngest EPs in professional wrestling. How is it knowing that what you produce is going to be on Fight TV? How does that make you feel as an artist? You know what I mean?
At first, nervous as fuck, because I'm very young in this business. It's a lot at once. And I had such anxiety about it until I started getting into the editing bay and I started seeing the quality of stuff, and even things that weren't shot or produced as well as I thought they could have been. I found ways to edit around it.
Yeah.
And the whole thing, it was just an amazing experience. Just regardless, I'm going to have produced something that's on Fight TV. That's something that's going to live way longer than I will.
Yeah.
And, and like I said, like Hutch said, we got to give a huge shout out to you for keeping things cool, because, you even mentioned on the car ride home, you could tell that I was pissed after the first two things we tried to record with didn't work. Yeah. And, I'm typically cool about keeping my cool, but to me this is, cool, this is my one chance to prove that I can do something, and everything's going wrong. But, you kept shit together. You're just cool, whatever you need to do, go do. During the intermissions, it's cool, go smoke a cigarette, whatever.
Yeah.
And, you were really definitely, as always, the glue that has helped everything stick together whenever we're all losing our shit. But it's again, a million times during this episode, surreal that this is a thing that we did. It's canon in life.
Yes, no matter what, bro, no matter what, we produced and did commentary for a super show, and nobody can take that from us, Dox.
Exactly. And it's been mentioned before, everyone was just so nice and polite while we were there, with the exception of maybe one legend who kind of blew us off. That's not a big deal. But everyone that we were actually there working under, we're just so polite. And like, granted, the people we were working for never talked to me directly. I was just kind of there, just trying to listen to figure out what the fuck I needed to do. But like, and whenever I got to give a shout out to their last name is escaping me at the moment, but there was another camera crew there, and I will tag them when we share this. But they had another hard cam setup that has really saved my ass.
Awesome.
Especially during Battle Royal. Like, Battle Royals and Royal Rumbles, like you said, used to be my favorite kinds of matches.
Yeah.
But I officially fucking hate them. The whole time, I had no idea how to shoot a Battle Royal. I've never done it before. And, like, with the cameras fucking up in that moment, it's like, cool. They got 10 people in the ring to start the match. I'll do their entrances because that's about the time the camera died. And so I can give them nameplates and all this shit. But from a production standpoint, that match has been such a fucking nightmare that I started it first, did it for about 3 hours, and now I'm like, fuck that. I'm going to do that at the very end because I do not want to deal with that right now.
And was it Ryan?
I feel like I can get away with that a little bit.
Was it Ryan Ford you were talking about?
Say what?
Ryan and Paula Ford?
Yes, the Fords. Yes, thank you.
No problem.
Because they deserve all the credit in the world. That USB of their stage side hard cam has really helped, because if I just used the footage I got on Hutch's phone and the hard cam that we had, the show would be good, but it wouldn't be near as good.
Sure.
And I feel like now I can rely more on solid Steadicam footage than the close-ups, and just use the close-ups for the important moments. You guys will see it whenever I get the fucking footage done. Like, you'll know what I'm talking about.
I cannot wait.
If you're not familiar with video production, then it might seem kind of strange to not be like, well, why don't you want it all the close-up footage in the ring from like WWE standpoint? And we also have footage of me tripping the fuck over in the middle of the ring with Bill Alfonso, so I'm going to send that to Matthew or Botchamania.
Awesome.
Yes.
But one thing about the show that is a minute detail, like, it's pretty much a non-entity, but I think it's cool as fuck, is you guys better appreciate me being a goth kid for having that goddamn banner hung up.
Man, for real, bro. Man, you are awesome for that, bro. We're talking about how I've been the glue and yada yada yada, and I appreciate that. I really, really do. But bro, you really you rigged that, bro. That's always great to have the goth kid around when you need something like that.
And for those of you listening that don't understand what we're talking about, me being a goth kid, I wear a fucking gauntlet on my right arm that's got 3 straps to it. And they're like, we can hang up your guys' banner on the railing so that it can be showed when the wrestlers come out.
But we have no tape.
No zip ties, no tape, not shit to hang that shit up with. And I'm like, wait a second. Pull the 3 straps out of my gauntlet, put them through the holes in the banner, and just strap that shit to the rail like it's a BDSM bullshit. Like, that's it. I will never not find that fucking hilarious. Like, I just felt like the people need to know that that was what was up, because I still just die thinking about that.
And I can say, because I witnessed this, because I assisted you in hanging up said banner. And it's almost like, he's like, damn, we need something to hang this up. And Dox is like, you want straps? I got straps. And he pulls up his fucking sleeve, and there it is, a gauntlet of straps. And it worked. And it looked over there, and it hung over there in glorious fashion all night. Looked fantastic. I think it was next to like it was an advertisement for some hot dogs or something. It made me hungry. Like, I was sitting there wanting a hot dog all night, man. Like, seriously. Like, I'm like, man, our In Your House banner looks great, but that hot dog looks like it tastes like Happy, too. So,
man, for real. I was hungry, too, for real.
Man, once it was said and done, my goodness, I was ready to smash some food. Because, again, let me tell
dude,
you guys.
we weren't MLW hungry, but we were hungry as fuck.
There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
I mean, we definitely paced ourselves a lot better than that fiasco.
Oh,
But
for sure.
let me tell you guys, man. Like, again, I'm not trying to be like, oh, we're awesome, and we know nothing when it comes to putting in work and all that. But commentating is not a cakewalk, man.
No, it's not. Commentary is not easy.
It's a marathon because it's like the show, you kind of got to build as you go, because if you start off at a 10, where do you go from there? You know, and it's like you got to keep that in mind. There's so many things that you have to keep in mind, man. And it's like you don't think about it when you're watching it. And you're hearing somebody else do it, man. But then when you're behind that booth and you're doing it yourself, it's you see it. It's a lot of plates to spin.
It's
you know
wild.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah. But again, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It was an adrenaline rush once we were out there and once it was going. I mean, again, we know Boogeyman was in the ring doing the worm thing. I don't want to give spoilers, but he threw the worms, and I had like 4 of them crawling around on me. One of them's name was Herman. We kind of bonded a little bit.
Yeah, y'all was cool.
Yeah. Like, we're homies now. He's following me on the Instagram, which I'll plug later. He's got.
You can have Herman. I'll have Buff Bagwell.
Yeah, man. That your homie Buff.
Hey, he's Buff. He's the stuff, and the girls can't get enough. And you guys bonded really well. But I want to say this because, like you said, we don't want to give out spoilers or anything like that. But I have to say this, and we're gonna go over. We're gonna talk a little bit about it, but we have so much more to talk about on this episode. I gotta say this. That Heroes and Legends Tag Team Championship match was super dope. And if you guys don't know the Murphy boys, you guys better get to know them.
Facts. That match was fire.
That was my match of the night.
If I was to pick one, yeah, that one really, really stood out to me. Like, and again, like, but like everybody on the card was great, but that match, yeah, if I was forced to pick one, it was the funnest match for me to watch as a fan. And I mean this respectfully to everybody else, because again, everybody, it was the smoothest and easiest to call, because it was just so much. I mean, there was just so much to talk about in that one.
Oh,
and again, that's not to take anything away from anybody else, because there was so much to talk about in every single match that was on that card. But that match, that particular match, because again, I love tag team wrestling, and that tag team match was just an absolute blast to watch and to call.
Oh, yes, I agree with that. And we also got a chance to call a steel cage match, but we don't want to give too much away because, we want you guys to watch it on Fight. We don't want to talk too much. We really want to just talk about the experience, and I think that we killed it on commentary. I think Dox killed it on the camera, and I know he's going to kill it on the production side of things with the editing, because I know Dox, and it was just amazing. So let's move on to the week of wrestling. But before we do that, I just want to say, Jason Maples, Sean Coletta, and your guys' whole camp, thank you for giving us that opportunity to be creative and to help grow our brand, which, man, looking at this past week with the downloads and the friend requests and everything, mission accomplished, because it's been an amazing week for In Your House in a lot of different ways, and a lot of different things have opened up because of this opportunity and are opening up, and I can see it, and I just want to say thank you. I just want to say thank you. I'm gonna give Hutch and Dox the opportunity. I know I speak on behalf of them when I say thank you, but thank you so much for that huge opportunity.
Yeah, and I mean, to echo what Khan said, Jason, Sean, everybody on the Heroes and Legends staff team, from the camera crew to everybody, the talent, the refs, who was so welcoming to us being there. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And if I can add as well, again, thank you specifically for, I'm not sure if we should, I'll go ahead and, I mean, I was not originally planned to be on the commentary table, and I was fine with that. I was ready to help out with the cameras and stuff. And then unfortunately, the talent who was to be there, was not able to make it. And I was given an opportunity. And to say that I'll never forget the feeling that I got when I found out. I was sad because of the circumstances, but I was thrilled at the chance that I was getting. And as I said, I really, truly hope I did. I have no regrets in the performance that I gave, but I hope it's enough. But regardless of that, I humbly thank you both. Thank you all for, giving our brand the shine that we've gotten from it, because my God, have we.
Oh, yeah.
And it was an absolute pleasure to work with you guys and for you guys. You guys were welcoming to us. Obviously, this goes without saying, nothing short of professional all the way across the board. And if there's anybody who's listening, any talents who has not worked with Jason and Sean for Heroes and Legends, I cannot recommend it enough. By all means, if you have an opportunity to work for these gentlemen, I implore you, do it. But again, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Yes, Dox.
Again, not necessarily wanting to parrot everything that's been said, but I am very appreciative of the fact that I was able to, have this experience, and I'll say it for the 1,000,007th time, like, it was surreal. Like, everyone was really easy to work with. A lot of people were very welcoming. I made a new best friend in Buff Bagwell, which how many people can say that? And, and I know the role I typically play when we do shows, and I'm not really going to get into that at the moment. Like, with all circumstances given, like, I still had a great time. And if anyone who did work the show doesn't know who the fuck I am, wait till you see the footage, and then you will. You're going to appreciate what I can do. And I just really appreciate the fact that the In Your House team got to go there, because I'm not in this for me. I'm in this for the brand, and the brand shined like none fucking other at the show with you guys on commentary. Like, I went out to smoke a cigarette, and Sean Coletta told me that you guys were killing it, and, like, that was halfway through the show. So, like,
awesome.
The fact that the In Your House team was getting appreciation, just it means a lot to me, and it's something that it's good to feel like you're part of something bigger, And,
for sure.
Like I said, I can't wait to finish editing this footage, because we got some great content on all ends, and it was just overall an amazing experience.
Absolutely, and Dox, let me know when you finish that, because I want to make sure that I schedule our viewing party properly, so where we can make sure that you are there and everybody that we want to be there, because I want this to be a big thing. Like, I want us to come together like we're watching a fucking AEW pay-per-view or something. I want this to be big. I want to show everybody in our camp what you can do and what we did on commentary, because honestly, I'm so fucking proud.
Oh, yeah, and I do want to bring up the point that initially what I plan to do to save rendering time is initially I'm probably going to upload each match and, like, segment or whatever individually.
Sure.
And put them on a playlist.
Sure.
That way, because just doing the In Your House talk show, a half-hour show, takes about 5 hours to render.
Yeah.
So I'm going to need an entire day to do the whole show together. So if I can render each match and segment individually, put them on a playlist on YouTube, or, send them to Heroes and Legends to put on a playlist, I will send a full show afterwards.
Okay.
But just to get things done as quickly and smoothly as possible, it'll be easier to do segment by segment. I just wanted to throw that out there in the ether so it was understood.
Absolutely, and I know they're going to be listening to this. I know that for a fact. So I'm glad that you made that clear. And, man, we got to move on because we don't got that much time left. I know everybody's got stuff to do in the morning, but we got to go over this week of wrestling, and we're not going to go over every single thing because when have guys, household, out there in the 14 different countries across these great United States and locally right here in Indiana, when have you guys known us to cover an entire Monday Night Raw or an entire SmackDown? It's just not. We hit key points with the way that we talk, with the way the three of us talk. If we broke everything down, we'd be here all fucking night. So we just talk over key points, and of course we have to talk about the elephant in the room that has been lingering since Sunday, and that was that bullshit ass finish at Hell in a Cell. Hutch, come on, bro.
I just want to know how Mick Foley feels about this.
He put his body on the line for that match, and then they stop it because... Come on, bro.
Right. And I knew what they were going to do. They're going to put the heat on the ref.
And they sure did.
Like, I had to think about the safety of the talent. And I get that. But it's like, okay. They had the crowd right where they wanted them. Right?
Yeah.
They had the crowd right there. And the last three letters that was on that crowd's mind was AEW.
Ain't that some shit?
The last thing. And they could have done everything that they did before they DQ'd, or whatever they called it, stopped the match, whatever spin they want to put on it. They could have just had Wyatt throw all that stuff off of him, set up like Undertaker, Kane, or whatever, and then give Seth Rollins the business, beat his ass, whatever, and then win the title. Why not?
Yeah, restart the match. He wasn't injured.
Right, as the crowd chanted, restart the match. Because they already painted themselves in a corner by putting Wyatt in this title match anyway.
Yeah.
So, but kudos to them. I will say this. Kudos to them for trying to go outside the box and try to do something different as far as the lighting and all that goes. Wyatt's entrance was, oh my God,
amazing.
Just nothing short of stellar. And it's even better than it was the first time. they like added touches and lighting effects and stuff to it that makes it even better and more ominous.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything about that match worked for me. But the good news in this, I think we may have a silver lining here, gentlemen.
You think so? Okay.
Yes, because I've been marinating on this a little bit. I'm glad we haven't got to talk about this until now, because a lot of the heat, and as you said leading into this, it's the elephant in the room that hasn't been acknowledged. It's already been established that Fox wants Bray Wyatt on SmackDown.
Yeah,
we're getting our follow-up from at least Bray Wyatt on SmackDown. Now I ask you, who else is on SmackDown?
Roman Reigns is one. Oh, Brock Lesnar's another.
Brock Lesnar's on SmackDown. If anything, this sets up a potential match between Brock Lesnar and Bray Wyatt, because Brock Lesnar got pinned by what? In the mythos and the canon of WWE, Brock Lesnar got pinned by, what was it, 3 curb stomps, right?
Yes.
And then you had Braun Strowman, who took, 4 curb stomps and a pedigree.
And a pedigree, yeah.
And now you got Bray Wyatt, who took 37 curb stomps, a chair to the head, a hammer to the head. They dropped an anvil on his head. They did all this shit. And then next thing you know, the Fiend's walking out basically unscathed. They set up a match between Brock Lesnar and Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, in the future.
Ooh, that'd be a big money match. When would you do it?
I mean, it's got to be one of the big shows, right?
Royal Rumble? Would you save it for Royal Rumble?
It's got to be either the Rumble or maybe Mania. I don't know. They got to get to Brock Lesnar and Kane Dad Bod Velasquez.
Yeah. So I don't think it's going to be Survivor Series. I think that'll be too soon.
Oh, yeah, that's way too soon. Again, we got this, again, I mean, I'm not sure if this Kane Velasquez thing is going to be a one and done thing, but I still think Brock Lesnar is still going to come out on top after it's all said and done.
Yeah.
But yeah, because, I mean, think about it. The Bray Wyatt, the Fiend right now, regardless of that bullshit DQ finish, is fucking invincible. Like, this man's got the ultimate cheat code in right now.
Yes, he does.
Because, I mean, look how the punishment because some of that chair shot looked good. And all that looked really good.
It did. I think so too.
So, and then they did the kind of crazy thing where, like, he gave the mandible claw or whatever it is that they're calling that to Seth Rollins, and then they kind of like Seth was bleeding from his mouth and all that.
Yeah.
But then, as you said, there's been no follow up, and in a sense, it's like, we always say, let it breathe, but it's like, man, it's what's troubling about this. I know I'm rambling a lot. I'm getting ready to cut it off, but it's surprising that they left such a sour note in such an important time in wrestling, with AEW killing it on their side.
And we're going to get to that.
Yeah, and we're going to get to that. But yeah, it's just, I loved everything about that match all the way until that bullshit DQ finish. And I'm waiting to see the follow-up, and I think we'll get that on SmackDown. We have
to get that Friday night. When you guys listen to this, it'll be Friday morning, 6 a.m. So you'll be looking forward to watching SmackDown tonight. We're recording this on Thursday evening, but once again, it'll be Friday when you guys listen to it. So put in your house, in your ears, while you're driving the kids to school, or maybe you're just driving to work. And we're here to give you that work when it comes to this professional wrestling business. So, Dox, go ahead and give a little bit of insight about the screwy finish of Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, that is, and going up against Seth Rollins, and the lack of follow up on Monday Night Raw.
Similar, but also dissimilar to Hutch. I think this can be saved. The way I have in my head is a bit different.
Sure.
I love the fact that neither of which were on Raw. I feel like that's a good move. Whether it's on SmackDown or next week's Raw is indifferent to me. But I think if they were to make it clear that the match was not necessarily a disqualification, but referee stoppage, because we've seen it before with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, where the referee stopped the match, Kevin Owens won the belt, all that bullshit. But I feel like the Fiend or Bray Wyatt could make it a point that the Fiend's goal was not to win the belt, because we've said it since the match got announced. The Fiend does not need the championships.
Yeah. Yep.
But if they could make it a point to where it was to pretty much just fuck with Seth Rollins' head, turn him into kind of a conflicted tweener, where he's doing heelish things because he feels like he needs to have that kind of brutality after this meeting with the Fiend, as opposed to being the boring babyface that we thought, Roman Reigns was, 2 years ago.
Sure, yeah.
If he can get some sort of character confliction because of it, even if the Fiend goes to SmackDown with Fox, if he's still there in the head of Seth Rollins and creating this perpetual problem that he's not feuding with the Fiend anymore, he's feuding with himself. If it is put on screen and articulated correctly, it could be one of the best storylines from one of the worst finishes in history, and there are ways to do it. Do I have that much faith in WWE creative? Absolutely the fuck not. But a blind squirrel is right twice a day when it comes to finding nuts. And so I'm not going to push this out into the garbage bin just yet. They can do it. There are ways to salvage this. I feel like the stoppage on the pay-per-view should have been much more clear. Like, it had X-Pac hot on watch-along. Like, I feel
he's
like
never coming back, bro.
Yeah, dude, he's got X-Pac heat with the WWE now instead of just the universe. But yeah, kind of ironic. But at the same time, if they would have made that ending a bit more clear, to be like, the referee has called this match due to stoppage, whatever, and, then the Fiend pops up, does his mandible claws, Sister Abigail, all that bullshit on Seth Rollins, and still leaves dominant, it would have gotten the message across a lot better than the way they did it. However, you can always retcon that. You can always max retcon that and make it a viable storyline that doesn't have to have the Fiend involved. You can get him away from the belt and still have him be a prominent part of that inner conflict with Seth Rollins. You can make this gold. But at the same time, it's probably going to be some stupid bullshit, and, Fiend's just going to look weak, and all my dreams will be crushed. But I'm used to it.
I got to say, man.
On that note, though.
Oh, go ahead.
On that note, I'm going to disappear for 35.6 seconds because we've been on this podcast for a minute, and I really, really have to piss. That's a hot take for all of you at home.
Wow, there you go.
Well, you go ahead, bro. We'll go ahead and vamp. And I gotta say, Hutch, I think that I really think that this episode of Monday Night Raw, bro, to me, it wasn't that good.
It really wasn't that good. And I gotta say something. I don't mean to sound like a picky bitch here, but after seeing the glorious set of SmackDown,
yeah,
that Raw set's boo-boo, bro.
Yeah, I agree, bro. I agree with you.
It looks
110%.
It looks like a rejected level out of Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
Stop it.
I'm not impressed, bro. But again, Raw had its moments, and again, it had stuff that I feel like in some hands, I kind of feel like it should have had, at least something in regards, but maybe just kind of let it breathe. And I think we're gonna get the payoff with Wyatt and all that stuff on SmackDown. But yeah, there was some good stuff on Raw, and I still think WWE needs to come with a little bit more, though, man. I think they're going to fall in their own ways. You know what I mean?
Oh man, what's happening with this Rusev and Lana thing? Like, I don't know, man. I'm not so sure. I'm not sure where I'm at with that right now, bro. What about you?
I don't know what is the theme of the week or the month or whatever, the cuckold? I mean, what is it? Oh my God, they're going to form a cuck group.
Oh my gosh, no. It's to be a stable.
It's going to be a stable. It's going to be a stable, and wow,
Mike Kanellis, Rusev.
Yeah, and they'll set up a couple of more, because again, it seems to be the flavor of the week. But again, I don't understand. Rusev again looks fantastic, man. He's like in the best shape I've seen him in.
He looks incredible.
He looks. I still say he looks like a swolled up Freddie Mercury. I stand by that. Bulgarian Freddie Mercury. And it's like he deserves better. But this ain't the first time they've done this shit with Lana. That's what I don't understand. Everybody's all like, "Oh wow, this is crazy. Lana's making out with Lashley." Like, oh my God! Like she did it with Ziggler. She did it with. The Rock. Like she's done it with every. I mean, I'm not gonna say everybody, but this is like the fourth or fifth time that they've done it, and it's funny how I don't know why. I just don't know what the motivation is. I don't know if it's like Vince is like, man, yeah, like Rusev, this girl's with Rusev. Oh, I'm going to book her to be, making out with all these other guys,
man,
whatever.
For real.
They've been known to do that shit there, man.
Yep.
And I can't speak on that because I've never been back there. I say that all the time on this show. I don't want to talk like I know what it's like back there. I have no clue. I just go off what I've heard, and I don't go off what I hear, on the dirt sheets and all that stuff. I go from like talent and stuff that's been there that you hear on various podcasts and interviews and shit.
Sure.
So I hear that sometimes pettiness like that gets booked for those kinds of reasons there. And as we say, where there's smoke, there's fire. And again, this is the fourth or fifth time they went down this road. And I believe I quoted Macho Man on this before on this very subject of you don't book a wrestling angle with your wife, because when you do, you don't have a wife no more.
Yeah. Man, I'm telling you, it's crazy. Like like Lana's been like, as far as I don't know what she's done outside of the WWE, but as far as what I've seen within the WWE, she's been getting passed around like a blunt before Thanksgiving dinner. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, it's crazy, but it's I don't know about that. I mean, it's cool, I guess, because they probably want to bring more like dramatic like storylines in the mix, and they want to be a little bit like, they want to be a little TV-14, and I get it. So I'm not saying I hate it. I don't want to complain about it, because like, we want TV to be a little bit edgier. I just don't see what the end game is.
Well, I just wonder who the hell Linda McMahon is sleeping with, aside from Vince, because there are two fucking storylines going on Raw where someone is a fucking cuck. So,
man, for real.
I wonder who Vince is watching his wife sleep with.
You know what I think? It's just one of them parties, bro, where like you go in and they have the big glass bowl and you just put your keys in there, and it's just, it's just everybody with everybody. Everybody's
You get that eyes wide shut thing where everyone's wearing a mask and
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yup, some of that, the eyes wide shut kind of thing. Yup. Don't ask all. It's just first name basis. That's all you need to know.
Crazy, man. So let's move on a little bit, because I don't like, and we'll talk, and I just want to let you guys know, I want to make it clear to you guys out there, the last thing we're going to talk about is the episode of AEW, and I'm excited to talk about that. So that's going to be our last topic today before we call this a really great episode, and it's ran really long, but there was a lot to talk about, a lot of things to cover, but we're looking, starting next week, to kind of put things on a schedule a little bit. We're going to try to get you guys a Monday episode, but after that, we'll probably record on Tuesdays to talk Monday Night Raw, and maybe even AEW Dark, and if things keep going the way they're going, NWA Power, which had an awesome debut this past Tuesday. Studio Wrestling is back, and we'll talk about it, but we don't have time today. But I'm hot to talk about that. But and maybe on Thursdays we'll try to get you guys an AEW and maybe NXT type talk for Friday mornings. We want to try to get you guys at least 3 episodes a week. This week we was able to get you guys 5, just because we put in that work at Heroes and Legends. That's what we had to do. So I just want to let you guys know what we're trying to do, just to kind of keep a consistent flow of episodes out there for you guys. So, Hutch, man, AEW Dynamite, week 2. Lead us in, brother.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
What a fun 2 hours. It's like, okay, we have 2 hours of content. Well, let's hit the gas and never stop.
Yeah.
Like, everything. Like, this show, it was better than last week.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it's exactly what AEW needed. I put on my Facebook, I do believe it was, I put AEW's 2 for 2. That show was phenomenal, and it was. That tag match in the beginning, Young Bucks and Private Party.
Oh my gosh.
What a fun modern 2019 tag match that was. Those guys were everywhere, and we knew. I mean, we were messaging each other back and forth during the show.
Yeah.
And we said, "Oh, this match is going to be everywhere." And I'm just like, and boy, it wasn't. And then Jericho gave. I think it's going to be called the Inner Circle promo. Is what it's going to end up being called, and look back on.
Yeah.
Because man, what a promo by Jericho!
Fantastic promo.
And this before he was getting into the reaction of the people chanting, "We the people," because what he did, he introduced you to everybody in that group and told you why you should care about them. So good. Jericho is brilliant. Not to mention the jab, and let's get to the jabs to WWE, man.
Oh my gosh.
Like, you had Jericho saying, "We're not next, we're now." Right?
Yes.
And I was just like, oof, subtle yet effective. It was quick, but there it was, right?
Yeah.
And then they hit the whole "We the People" thing. And Jericho's like, hold on. And he let the crowd hit it, hit the chant. And then he said what he said. And it was just like, boof, 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 just fired shots, man. And
He
the
said
crowd,
He said it was a stupid idea when they did it, and it's dead and buried, and it was a bad idea from bad creative. And I was like, like Miss Fabulosity was there with me. I was on the couch like, holy shit!
Oh, I lost it at that point, man. I was like, oh, hell. And we knew going into this, we were told that they really aren't scripted when they go out there. You know, I'm sure they have bullet points and they know where they're going.
Sure,
but
yeah.
They are given the green light to ad-lib right there. You know, like that. And it was the perfect ad-lib. I mean, it shut the chant down. And I'm willing to bet I don't think we'll hear that chant again.
No, he killed that chant with just that one promo. Totally killed the "We the People" chant, and I agree with you. I do not think we're going to hear it again, Hutch.
Absolutely, I do not think we'll hear it again. And I love the design of the shirt. And look at you guys. You think you're so slick with your Illuminati iconography. I see what you guys are doing, just like that all-seeing eye you have in that triangle there, bruh. I see you. But regardless, I want one of them inner circle shirts.
Oh,
those
it's
are dope.
It's dope.
It's a dope design. And again, I look at that shirt and I look at the other shirts thus far from AEW, and I look at WWE, and I'm like, I'm trying to be unbiased, but I'm like, what are y'all doing?
I agree, bro. Like we've been hit with that. Bias label before, and it doesn't stress me out because I know that we're not. But Monday Night Raw was, well, I mean AEW Dynamite was so good, and Monday Night Raw, my eyes so wasn't.
Wasn't, and I gotta say this too. Like, I watched NXT today.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I got off work today, and I watched NXT. I would have watched it last night, but adulting and real world responsibilities, and I had to do my adult job, my real job.
Sure. Yeah.
So I caught it today. And before I say this, and ooh man, I'm going to catch some heat for it. I can feel Adonis, cracking his knuckles, ready to type and call me biased with a capital B. But I don't give a damn. You can at me for it, and at me. We'll talk about it. But I watched NXT today. NXT had a good show. NXT has had nothing but excellent takeover shows. NXT is an established brand, right? We all agree to that.
Right.
NXT, the show that they have competing against AEW, is vastly inferior to AEW.
Wow.
NXT, in my personal opinion, if they keep doing what they're doing, and they're not doing anything wrong, it's not a slight in their talent, it's not a slight in their production, but they are going to get smoked every single week in ratings because it's just two vastly different shows. I know it's very early in the game and we are only 2 weeks in, but AEW, look at those shows. Do yourself a favor. If you were sitting there, put your biasness and calm down and hear me out. Next week, click back and forth in between those shows. They are so drastically different. AEW looks huge, and I know it's just because you got NXT that's filmed in Full Sail, and you got AEW that's traveling to film in arenas. Obviously, AEW is going to look bigger, but we're talking the show that you brought in competition to AEW. NXT, as great as it is, it's not going to be enough if AEW keeps up the momentum that they have right now.
You want to know what I think is heard, and and then I want to ask Dox about what his thoughts are on the inner circle, because I just want to know from that from that demographics perspective. But I think the problem is NXT. Wow, this is gonna sound so weird. NXT feels like too much of an indie show to be on national television, as where AEW feels like it is a completely different wrestling show, in some ways paralleling like Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, but it's not an indie show. It actually tells stories and has characters, while NXT is just a bunch of wrestlers, and I love it for that, for the pure wrestling feel that it has, the pure indie feel that it has. But I think that exact fact is what's hurting it.
It is, and watching AEW, you know what AEW reminded me of?
What's that?
Nitro in its heyday.
Ooh, I like it. I love it. As a matter of fact, because as you guys know, go back to the old episodes. I was a WCW kid. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, but yeah, it felt like, because I mean, like the way it all culminated with good guys fighting off the bat, a big, the established good guys fighting off a group of the established bad guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you got this, because again, we've said it before with AEW. It's an old school approach and the old school things that made old school wrestling great with a new coat of paint. And that's exactly what AEW is and is continuing to be. It's taking all the stuff that made classic wrestling fantastic, but with all the modern stuff that wrestling needs to, to capture the attention of people in 2019. The breakneck, high-paced matches and stuff, and then you got the hardcore stuff as well. Again, we say AEW's got something for everybody. Oh, yeah. My God, I sound biased. But man,
Dynamite was good.
It was good. It was really, really good. Like it again, it was a better outing than last week's show. And again, Orange Cassidy's got the easiest gig ever.
Oh my gosh! All he has to do is show up.
That man got one of the biggest pops of the night and was just sitting in the chair and gave like just a very ho-hum, thumbs up. People loved it.
They loved it, man. They loved it. So Dox, I want to get your thoughts before we get too further along. The Inner Circle, man. What do you think?
You see, a lot of the things I've been hearing on the internet are, they're just trying to replicate the NWO. I know a lot of wrestling fans my age who miss the NWO. We're not around for that. They were at their apex around the time we were born. And so, for people just getting into this is still new to them. Not every 22-year-old has done the lexicon of history of wrestling that I've done. So, those are the people I'm kind of gauging it on, is not the people who have been, around for all this shit, but for the people who this is brand new to, they love it. I love it just because, Chris Jericho, you said earlier when we were talking about Ken Anderson, he's one of the best talkers in the history of wrestling, and so, I am immediately infatuated with whatever he's doing. Even though I think after a little too much of the bubbly, he might try to sleep with Sammy Guevara, giving just given the praise he gave him, calling him, what was a Spanish god or whatever.
Sexy Spanish god.
Yeah, man crush aside on him, I can't really talk. Shout out to you, Ace Austin, but no, I love the Inner Circle, and I love the way they're using Jake Hager as not they're not going to push him to the moon because he's an ex-WWE guy, but he's there to be the silent muscle of the group.
Yeah.
He's going to be, I feel like he could be playing the Bam Neely role, but people are going to remember who he is.
Yes, not Bam Neely. Wow.
That's a name for those of you to Google.
Man, for real. I've heard that name in forever. And yeah, man, I'm digging the Inner Circle. I think that's something that's gonna work, man, and it's been awesome. I gotta go back to that tag team match, that first round tag team match for the right to advance in the AEW Tag Team Championship tournament, and I gotta say that match had no reason being that good on regular free television. It was amazing, and it told a great story. There was something on the line. It wasn't just a great match just to have a great match. It was a great match with something on the line, and the team that I didn't expect to win won. To me, that match, I don't give out these like that, but I give that one like 5 out of 5 thumbtacks. That was good shit, and I don't give that out like that.
It was great. It was fun, and I mean. And again, like these shows got to come out, firing on all cylinders. And
yeah.
This was a perfect example of that. But it wasn't just flippy moves and all that stuff. There was selling that was done. Like, there was a lot of good stuff. There was a lot of, like, tandem offense done. A lot of just great tag team wrestling there. Like, it was just
really good, yeah.
And again, talent was made. We're 2 weeks in, and again, everybody's talking about Sammy Guevara, and they wasn't talking about Sammy Guevara a month ago.
No, they sure weren't, bro.
But man, that kid's name's on it is now on everybody's lips now. And same way in Private Party. I know Private Party's been getting a lot of buzz here, as these specials and stuff have been going along. But now, after they lit it up, because the Bucks did their best to make those kids.
Oh yeah, I think they were successful in doing so.
And absolutely they did. Because again, the Bucks are a legit team. Say what you want. Say what y'all want. They are an established tag team, to say the very least. And I'd be hard pressed if somebody's like, what was your highlight of that show? The show,
yeah,
the entire show, from the continuation of Kenny Omega and John Moxley, or as Dox calls him, Uncle Mox.
Yeah.
Like, that was great stuff. Like, that was good. Even the tag team match with the women.
Yeah, that was pretty good too. Yeah,
Riho's still over.
Yeah, she is, man. Yeah, she is. And I gotta say that Moxley Shawn Spears match, that was pretty good too. And I love that Tully Blanchard is still a thing.
Yeah, I do dig that. And I gotta say this too, going back to the Inner Circle.
Sure, go ahead.
There's one thing missing from that squad.
What's that?
A female.
Yeah?
They need a girl.
More than that, a Joshi.
Yeah. But see,
I think they need a strong Japanese women's wrestler in the Inner Circle.
See, that could work. Now, see, the name that popped in my head was Tessa Blanchard.
Oh, man. Love Tessa Blanchard.
I say you put Tessa Blanchard in that stable to run roughshod in the women's division, along with the rest of the Inner Circle doing their thing, then I think she would, kind of round out that team. But I do like Dox's idea as well. Because
I do.
Because they could kind of have her come in and be kind of the silent but violent one. Because they could do because the rest of them could gas her up. Jericho could gas her up just fine.
Oh, yeah. That's nothing to him. That's not going to be nothing to him.
You see, I've said it before, I believe on the podcast, the only issue I have with that, because Tessa Blanchard is my number one women's wrestler at the moment, my number 3 overall wrestler at the moment, and, the only issue I have is I do not want the internet and all the fucking IWC to be like, well, she just got this AEW gig because, her dad's managing, Shawn Spears. I don't want her to be discredited at all, which is why I think she hasn't made the jump, if she wants to do this on her own.
Yeah.
So I would much rather see her as the first ever women's, Impact champion and make history that way before jumping over. I just feel like she needs something to where there is no plausible deniability, even to the uninitiated fan, that she deserves to be the top women's wrestler.
I agree with that. I do agree with that. But in my eyes, man, that women's division for AEW, it's good. I mean, it's got Awesome Kong and Nyla Rose and Riho and I think Britt Baker still needs some work. But in my eyes, Tessa Blanchard is the missing puzzle piece to the AEW women's division. I just really feel like that if you throw her in the mix, your division is super solid. Maybe a couple names here and there, little mid cards to kind of fill it out. But other than that, that's a foundational piece on an otherwise pretty solid foundation of a women's division.
Yep, I completely agree.
Yeah, so, I don't disagree at all. I want her to avoid as much slight as she can get. I do agree, she would be perfect to just dominate the AEW women's division. And after she's got a women's title run, fuck. Have her fight Chris Jericho.
Yeah, sure.
I
Why
don't
not?
care. I do not want her to get the backlash that she doesn't deserve. Because, like I said, she's my number 3 favorite wrestler in the world right now.
Yeah.
And, she's only a year older than me, I think, a year or two. And that's just really inspiring. So, me, her, and Austin Aries can have a 3-way wedding, and that'll be fine.
Man, she's incredible.
Or not
incredible.
Austin Aries, Ace
I know what
Austin.
you meant. Ace
I
Austin.
fucked up my husband's name.
And I gotta say this, moving right along before we call this a real great episode, I have to talk about this. Jimmy Havoc versus Darby Allin. These two crazies, man. I gotta say, I absolutely love Darby Allin. Love him. Hutch, what were you thinking about that match? And, of course, the shenanigans Darby Allin brought later on in the night at the end.
Well, first off, kudos to both of them and whoever I'm not sure how they do the dynamic backstage. I assume they probably have agents and stuff like that kind of let them, kind of go over their matches and shit.
Sure.
I love that, we had Jimmy Havoc and Darby Allin in the ring, but they didn't do the hardcore stuff.
Ain't that something? Ain't that crazy?
And I think that, yeah, it is. But I think it was by design because I do believe it may have been Excalibur or it was one of them, somebody on commentary, which again, kudos to the commentary team as well. They're starting to gel really well together. Obviously, I mean, you got Tony Schiavone and Jim Ross. But anyway, back to the match. They had mentioned that, a lot of people kind of Jimmy Havoc's tired of people just assuming that he could just wrestle a hardcore style match. And I think they did their best to try to work a non-hardcore match here, and I think it worked. Oh, yeah. And again, I'm a huge Darby Allin fan. The more I see of this guy, the more I love him. He's got a great look, and he is what he is. Love him or hate him, he is what he is. And him skateboarding down the ramp and attacking Jericho at the end was nothing short of stellar for so many reasons.
Oh,
because A, it's what Darby Allin would do.
Yeah.
Which is important for his character. And 2, importantly for AEW, it gives them a hook for next week because they had the match with, that Darby Allin won to give him a match with Jericho next week, which is going to be fantastic.
Yep, championship match.
And even if they, have a schmoz ending where they have, Cody Rhodes run in or something like that, who cares? It doesn't matter. It's as long as the content of the match is good. Yeah, it still can make Darby, and that's exactly because again, Jericho's a genius. We know this, yes. But yeah, the way Darby Allin did the skateboard gimmick down there to Jericho was great. I'm here for it, and I can't wait till next week. Wednesdays is my wrestling night. Yeah. Wednesdays is wrestling night for me. As of right now, and this is with all due respect, I am neutral. I am Switzerland. I say that all the time to Adonis and the rest of you heathens out there that happen to think that we're biased. I am not biased. What is good and what is bad is bad. But AEW was more than good this week. AEW was great. That was a wrestling show, and it was a fun wrestling show to watch.
I dispute you on nothing that you just said, man. Nothing that you just said. Because for me, I absolutely agree. And I agree that this was a great episode as well. I mean, it went really well. I mean, it ran a lot longer than I thought, but we had so much we had to cover for the week. And we're going to give you guys some more episodes. Don't worry. You guys got nothing to worry about. We're giving you a week episode, so expect some more, and we're going to get you that work. So you guys know what time it is, and I'm going to start with my man Dox here. Go ahead and plug anything that you want to plug, brother.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Real Club, and household alike. I'm going to keep it short and sweet this time. I'm just going to send a message. All right. Ace Austin, Tessa Blanchard, will you marry me? If so, say nothing for the next 3 seconds. Awesome, I'll start planning.
Oh, man. Dox, we love you, man. We love you. Good old Dox. He did. He kept it short and sweet, didn't he, Hutch?
Yeah, he really did. Really did. Effective. Simple yet effective.
So you guys can check him out, Prince Paradox. He's the executive producer of In Your House and, of course, a co-host. And he's absolutely amazing. And he's working on Heroes and Legends XIII for Fight TV. And it's going to be great. Can't wait to watch it. We're going to plan this viewing party. It's going to be a great time. And I really, really cannot wait. We're going to make it a big old thing. That's what we want to do. So with that being said, Hutch, go ahead and plug anything you want to plug, bro. Go ahead.
Well, again, if I can plug anything, and we'll be plugging it on our Facebook when it's on Fight TV. Check out Heroes and Legends XIII when it's on Fight TV, because you're going to see a hell of a show. Yeah, you can see us on commentary and whatever, but you can get to see Doc stumble and maybe fall down a little bit. Love you, brother. But yeah, like, check out Heroes and Legends XIII, man, because it was a hell of a show. And again, one more time, thank you all for having us on. But back to the social media thing, you can follow me on the Twitter at HutchIYH. Give me a follow. Let me know what you did. I'll probably tweet on there at some point eventually. I promise. I can't guarantee it'll be a good one, but I'll tweet something eventually. But also you can follow me on my Instagrams, and that is at Hutch in Your House, and that's spelled just like the name of the show that's going in your ear holes right now. And I am actually, you know what, I'm going to check, because I haven't been on my Instagram much today. I believe the last time I checked was with the 79 sippers of the Kool-Aid. And I do believe all of them are legit too. So yeah, I love you guys for following. Give me a follow. Yeah, that's right. Hutch in Your House. And you know what I always say on here, regardless of what you listen or what you watch, what you cheer, what you boo, be it WWE, AEW, New Japan, Ring of Honor, it doesn't matter. We are Legion. We are wrestling. We are one. Thank you very much for listening. We'll catch you next time.
We are one. One of the great slogans of the show from my man Mikey Hutch. Guys, I just want to sidebar for a little bit, just to say that everything that you guys out there in the household have been putting out there as far as this past week, you guys have been amazing. This week has been amazing for In Your House as far as downloads and just overall opportunities coming our way. You know, that's the whole reason. That's one of the. There's a lot of reasons we wanted to be there for Heroes and Legends, but one of those is we just wanted to take it to the next level as a brand, and I feel like that was a mission that was accomplished, and I'm very proud of my team. I'm proud of Dox. I'm proud of Hutch. Dom P, shout out to Dom P for helping out, get us that banner. You're amazing, brother. And man, it's just been great. So I also want to say, for anybody in the local Indiana area, close to Anderson, In Your House is collaborating with Dragon Horde's Coin and Gaming for the Spooky Smash Brothers event on October 19th. We're starting, doors are opening at 2 p.m. That's at 2210 South Scatterford Road in Anderson, Indiana. It's going to be a great time. We're going to be there podcasting and commentating the Super Smash Brothers event. We're also going to have Mario Kart. There's going to be food there. We're going to be raffling off prizes. It's going to be a great time. Come in costume. There's going to be a costume contest. This is for all ages, you guys. We wanted to do something not just for the adults. A couple years ago, myself and Hutch were putting together an event. It was at a local bar, but the kids couldn't. It was a bar, so kids couldn't be there, and it was a great time. We had a great time doing it, but I feel like I'm gonna have a great time doing this too, because we want to make sure that the kids have an opportunity to come out and have a good time and enjoy Halloween and just enjoy video games, period, and gaming. So come out for that. Yeah, it's going to be a great time. We're going to be back at DCCW, that's Delaware County Championship Wrestling, on the 26th. We'll be back there doing commentary. Dox is going to be with us on the table. It's going to be a great time. And I'm just excited for everything that's going on within your house. We've got a lot of cool things moving, and we're looking for more. Anybody who wants to work with us, we're looking to work, and we're looking to grow the brand. So I think this was another great episode, and we did it again, y'all. We put in that work. So let you guys know where you guys can listen to this at. You guys can listen to this at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Spreaker, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Himalaya. Hey, you don't have an Apple device? That's alright. We're on Google Play. Anywhere that you guys are we can get to you. Check us out, October 19th, Spooky Smash Brothers event, Dragon Hordes, Coin and Gaming. Check us out, we'll be podcasting all through the day. Me, Hutch Dox, giving y'all that work. Guys, what are you doing? Buy a freaking shirt. That's www.prowrestlingtees.com/inyourhouse. Get this work. Get this shirt. And guys, we tell you this all the time. Hop on this bandwagon. Get on. Or get gone. Because the household, well, we still going mighty strong. You guys have a great day and a great weekend. Peace.